Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and in today's video, we're gonna do a quick unboxing and review of the new Poly Edge B20 IP phone. But before we get into this review, remember, you're watching the #1 YouTube channel on all things business phone and internet service related tips, videos, and educational advice to help you make the best buying decisions and maybe even save yourself a little money along the way. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our content and you're notified when we release new videos. Okay, so first and foremost, big thank you to our contacts over at Poly for sending us this for review, and a big thank you to our contacts at VoIP Supply for handling the shipping and logistics. I'm actually pretty excited about this because while you guys know that we've reviewed a lot of Poly products on this channel, this is the first of the Edge phones that I've ever seen. So I've not actually seen what's in this box. I didn't even know that Poly had a Edge series until one of my contacts emailed me about 3 weeks ago and said, "Hey Prince, have you heard about our new series that just came out called Edge? We'd like you to review 2 of the phones in the series." And so here you're looking at the Poly Edge B20. So let's go ahead and open up this box and see what we got. So here's a little bit of warranty information. Looks like we've got a manual here, like a deeper manual, which I'm sure you can find online. Got a quick start guide for the Poly Edge B10, B20, and B30. Here's the actual phone itself. It's actually really nice looking. Here is your actual handset. Looks like also in the box, we've got what looks to be a 1.5 meter Cat5e cable. Here is a kickstand here for the phone. Got the nice Poly logo on it there. And then last but not least, here is your actual cable to connect your handset. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you guys what all the box contents are in an overview, and then we're gonna put it all together. Okay, so going from left to right, here is the actual Poly Edge B20 desk phone. Here's your actual handset. Here is what looks to be the 1 meter or approximate 3-foot Cat5e cable that I mentioned. Here's your actual cable to connect the actual handset. And then last but not least, here's your kickstand. Let's go ahead and put this thing together and see what we got, and then we'll look at buttons and interfaces and things like that. Okay, so here we are with our Poly Edge B20 IP phone all put together. At first glance, I kind of like it. It's a good looking phone. As I already mentioned a little earlier, it definitely is absolutely not reminiscent of the VVX series. It's not even reminiscent of the newer CCX series from Poly. It's like its own entry-level like series from the way that I understand this phone to be. But let's just look at a few things on the front at first glance. First of all, as you can see on the handset, it's got the Poly logo really nice. That's actually really pretty. But the one thing I noticed is it doesn't have the Poly HD voice logo here. So now I wonder, does it have Poly's signature HD voice quality? The handset actually feels nice and solid, and I actually like this matte look and the way it feels. It's got a very soft kind of matte-like feel to it, almost like a velvety feeling kind of plastic. So that's actually kind of a nice touch. If you look under here, it's got a nice little speakerphone here under the actual handset. As you can see here, it's got a monochrome screen instead of a color screen, which is typically typical with most of the newer Polys. So again, I think this is an entry-level phone. So looking at the buttons and things on the front of the phone at the top half, you've got a monochrome screen. It looks also to be what is 2-line capability. You've got your typical function keys here, which allow you to be able to function and use the phone for whatever purpose is here in the actual menu at the time. You've got your directional key here, you've got a back key and then a home key. Now your keypad down here is kind of similar in some way to the older Poly phones or the VVX series, but not really. It's similar in that they're circular, but I like the way that the fonts are a little bit more streamlined. This looks much more modern than some of the older Poly phones, but everything is still kind of laid out the same way that you would expect, like the transfer call, place a call on hold. Your volume button is your numeric keypad, your mute, and your headset control. Now let's go ahead and flip her around and see what we've got on the back by way of interfaces, ports, and outlets. Okay, so first and foremost, you've got your key lock up here, which is typical with most IP phones. The kickstand on this phone is very different than any Poly phone that I've seen in like ages. It is not adjustable, but strangely enough, I actually really like the angle that this sits at without any type of like, you know, variable adjustability or anything like that, but it's very different. It's like a hollow kickstand, which you guys saw earlier, and it only goes in one way. So it actually is a really nice looking kickstand. As far as ports here. You've got your typical 5-volt AC adapter port here. Now, of course, this is PoE because the way that I was powering it was PoE, and I do not have a power adapter for this. If you look a little closer here, there is your actual network port for your Cat5 or Cat6 cable, which is what we were using to power it and give it internet. Here is your pass-through here, which I assume is gigabit, but we'll know when we get into specifications after this. Here is an RJ9 headset jack. So for those of you who are looking for headset support, it looks like you can use RJ9. And then last but not least, this is the port that plugs into your handset. Now this phone is wall mountable. I'm not gonna pull this bracket off because it was a pain in the butt to get on. And it seems like it's pretty tough coming off, which I guess is good if you don't want it to pop off. But behind this kickstand is actually a bracket. It's basically like a mount for a wall mount bracket. So you do have to get the wall mount bracket separately, but I think you pull this off and then you put the wall mount bracket into the same slots or same array that this kickstand goes into, and then this would effectively be wall mountable. At first glance, looking at this phone and looking everywhere, I do not see a USB port anywhere for USB headset support. So I don't believe that this has USB support, but I do see that this has, I believe this is an 8mm jack for a headset as well. So you've got headset capability here, and then you've also got headset capability through the RJ9 port that I showed you guys back here. Okay, so the Poly Edge B20 supports 2-line capability, just like what we saw with the buttons here, but it does support 8-line key assignment with supported pagination. So as I suspected, as is the case with a lot of the other Poly phones, you can have the ability to have more than just 2 simultaneous line capability through basically virtual lines or through digital lines within the actual menus. It also supports fast Ethernet and PoE, so it is gigabit. It has volume control keys, as we already looked at. It has your home and back button feature keys, hold and transfer keys, headset key, and also has speakerphone key and mute key. It does support Poly HD voice, which I was hoping it would, and so I'm happy to hear that, to deliver lifelike voice quality for each audio path for the handset and for the speaker as well. So, and it also says that it delivers Poly HD voice through the headset as well if you have one connected to it. The speakerphone is full duplex, and also it says that this phone supports low delay audio packet transmission. Other specifications and features that the Poly B20 actually supports, assuming that your VoIP service provider or VoIP phone system supports it, is local 5-way audio conferencing, so that's nice. It's got 5-way conferencing versus 3-way. It's got one-touch speed dial, missed call notifications, do not disturb function, intercom, enhanced call park, caller ID enable and disable, call forward on busy, no answer unconditional, message waiting indicator, call progress tone generator, distinctive ringtones, electronic hook switch capable, anonymous call dictation, block anonymous call capability, and much more. Let's talk about pros and cons. So let's start with the pros. First and foremost, I like the small footprint. It's a very small phone if you're somebody who just doesn't want anything big on the desk, or you need a bunch of them in the office and you're trying to save space, or you just want to minimize a bit around the office and still have something nice. I like the fact that it is a entry-level phone, but it does not sacrifice on some of the key features that Poly is known for, like the ability to have the digital line function to go above and beyond the line capability that is on the screen. I also like that it's got the HD voice and that it still has the gigabit Ethernet and the pass-through on the back. The other pro that I like about it, and call me superficial, it's a good looking phone altogether, and it looks very modern. So again, some of you may be watching this and saying, okay, that's just completely subjective. Yeah, I know, but we said some of these pros and cons were going to be my honest opinion. Last but not least on the pros, I like the fact that it is very easy to use as far as just the way that the buttons are laid out, the way that the menus are laid out. It's very simple to use, and it doesn't look like something to where if it was put in front of me as a new phone system, or I was a new employee at a new company that was using this phone, to where I would have to put too much thought into how to use this phone. Now, let's talk about the cons. One big con that I don't like about this phone, unless I missed it, is that there is no USB headset support whatsoever from what I can see on this phone. While that is kind of a bummer, I feel like it's only saving grace is the fact that it has this 8mm headset jack over here. And while I know a lot of headsets don't use this, it's actually funny that we're looking at this, because just this past week, I had somebody literally literally inbox me and say, hey Prince, I see that you're the source for phone services, phone equipment, and also headset recommendations. Why doesn't any phone support the regular standard old 8mm jack? Like, why do people not use that anymore? While I couldn't answer that question for that person, unfortunately, it's kind of cool to see that if you don't want to use the RJ9 connection for a headset, you still have the ability to find something at probably a better price that uses the jack on the side that I showed you guys. So that's kind of a bummer that it doesn't have USB, but luckily because it's got the 8mm and also the RJ9, you've still got plenty of other options out there for headsets to be able to use with this thing. My final only con about this, and again, this may just be me being picky, it does not have a color screen or any type of touch screen. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be a touch screen, not to be an entry-level phone. That's usually not the case with any phone manufacturer, but I was a little bummed out that it's just a monochrome screen, but it's backlit, and it's actually backlit very well, because even in a low light setting, when I was messing with it earlier, it actually has a pretty good amount of illumination on it. So its saving grace is that it is a nice screen that is backlit well, but would be nice if it was color, but beggars can't be choosy for a phone that is classified as entry level. So, for those of you who are watching and are wondering, the Poly Edge B20 IP phone goes for approximately $100, depending on where you get it from. As always, I'll have links for you guys below this video. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think about this phone. I actually think it's a really pretty phone. I think that this would be a great phone for, say, people in medical that don't necessarily need like something that is, oh my God, cream of the crop feature rich, but they need something that looks nice, has decent voice quality, which Poly is known for, but they need a good price tag to be able to put a lot of these on the desk. So think hospital or mid-size medical or public education or private education is where I'm thinking this could shine, or small and startup business that want a really good phone from a really good manufacturer and just don't want to spend a lot of money, but they want something that's basic, easy to use, and that's built to last. So that's my honest thoughts on this phone, the Poly Edge B20 IP phone. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, this is Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.